And so then this guy picks up this folding chair,
Yeah.
right, and goes,
Just
boom,
whacks, yeah.
just whacks her on the head.
Yeah.
Can you believe, do you see that?
I didn't see it.
Oh.
I didn't.
I'm
I heard about
John,
it.
and tonight I want answers about Hunter Biden. There's no stopping us now, because we're live.
I'm John Thompson.
I'm John A. Vink.
I'm Keith Stattenfield.
I'm Loretta Beavers.
I'm AJ Minnick.
I'm Jennifer Sim.
I'm Bobby Chastain. These stories tonight on John Wants Answers.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says August 10th, 2023, then we're live. My guest tonight is Keith Stattenfield. Welcome to the show, Keith.
Thank you. I'm almost always your guest.
Almost always.
I mean, I should get like a promotion, shouldn't I? Like my.
Well, right now you're sidekick. What would you want your new title to be?
Well, I don't think I'm the sidekick here.
You don't think so?
Like people that tell me about the show are like, that show you do with John is good. Why do you let John on it though? And I'm like, well, he has this.
Do they ever see the title of the show?
I don't think people watch the
credits?
I mean, what they tell,
start,
what I
the
have to
end,
explain to
the
them is
song?
you have this very sad face you can make, just like a wet puppy, and so I just keep bringing you back. When's your
Okay.
birthday, man?
Good.
How old are you?
51.
51.
Early
Anyone
50s.
give you any presents today?
Yes.
Any good presents today?
I got chocolate chip cookies.
That's good.
That's good.
Look, I got you a card.
You got me a card.
I got you a card, and I got you a present.
I should open it right now
You should.
on live TV.
It's your
Live.
favorite beer. I know you love it because you bring it over.
I
whenever
bring it to
have
your
a
party every time.
Yeah.
Right. Please place a protective cover over the front of the card in envelope before mailing.
I didn't
Some
mail it.
cards may require additional postage.
Probably. I didn't mail it though. I just handed it to you.
I see your name on that. Keith and Loretta.
Keith and Loretta. Yes.
And it's a
It's one of them accordion-y cards. You can stand it up on your desk at work.
at work. I don't have a
Wait.
job because I'm hippie.
Yeah. See, look,
All right.
it's all.
Look at that.
Yeah. I thought it's kind of circusy themed. Look, there's a lion with a crown.
Because you're saying the show is a circus?
Well, no, everyone loves animals and circuses, I think.
Oh. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
That's more than I expected from you.
It's good. I didn't bring a bottle opener.
Oh. And they're warm anyways.
Yeah, well, I knew you wouldn't drink them, so it seemed
So the
pointless to
bottle
chill
opener.
them. That would just be wasting electricity,
Indeed.
since you're probably going to put them in the trunk of your car and bring them back to my Labor Day party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. All right, let's get the show started.
The show has started, John.
First, we have old business to take
It's
care
been
of.
like 4 minutes. Like
Wow.
3 or 4 minutes.
We've wasted 3
We've
minutes.
already killed 10% of this show, and we haven't talked about anything.
Old business. So, has Donald Trump been indicted on anything new this month?
Yes.
Wait, yes?
Yes.
Wow. I remember November 2020. We had a 6-part series. Who is president now?
Okay.
Now we have a new 6-part series. Has the president been indicted?
It's been 6 times, huh?
Well, this is the
First of all, the former president,
former president. It's been
Mr. Trump,
the
as we call him.
4th time or 3rd time
Oh, he's got like 7 or 8 cases against him.
already.
Yes. I don't know that all of them had indictments, because 2 of them are civil,
Well, we had
and there's no indictment in a civil case.
the New York case
Yes.
about his, bookkeeping.
But his
problems.
his business lying about what properties are worth.
Was there an indictment with that?
Well, yeah.
Oh, no. The case I'm talking about is when he paid off the porn star and then miswrote it in his
Yes.
books.
Yes.
That was indictment or not? Or just,
I'm not even. That's his.
I thought he got charged.
That's not him. That's the Trump organization that's being
Oh.
charged for that one.
Okay.
I mean,
Then
he's
he-
involved. He's one of the named defendants, but
Then there was the taking the top secret documents home.
yes,
case.
yes.
And then there was some stuff added to that later on.
Yes. They added a couple more charges and another person.
Uh-huh. And now the new one is conspiracy to defraud the United
Yeah,
States.
the current one is essentially January 6th.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this one only had like 4 charges.
Yeah.
The other ones had like, 35.
Well, they
or
just
something.
kept charging. Like every document was a separate charge.
Okay. But in this case,
They could have charged like 200.
yeah.
I read a thing from a lawyer that's like, it's hard to pick the right number. And 30 seems a tad high. Like it seems like you're just being gratuitous.
But it could have been 200, so.
But it could have been even more.
Right. So this was January 6th, conspiracy to defraud the United States. That was the whole fake electors scheme? Conspiracy?
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
That was, we have a process for picking the next president, and he tried to derail that process, thereby defrauding the United States and all of its citizens out of its properly selected next president.
Could I accuse you of defrauding the public of watching the show because you're always trying to derail the show?
You could try, but I don't think that's a crime. Like this is just a crazy TV show.
Okay.
Not an actual government.
Right. So that was the first one. Then he
Yeah.
had 2 more. Obstruct the vote certification proceedings.
Yeah.
So that was the actual January 6th session that he was trying to
Yes, that he
buttle with.
seemingly convinced a crowd to surround a building and then enter a building and then chase actual Congress people out of the building because you're walking around with weapons and such, thereby preventing. I was just sitting in my office at home because I'm the kind of guy that would like turn on C-SPAN and watch. And it was like mid-afternoon, and I was like, "Oh, this is not what is supposed to be happening at all. This is
C-SPAN just got interesting.
I think pretty quickly I switched to a real news channel because C-SPAN only shows the cameras in the chambers.
Right.
And so like all this other stuff was going on, and the internet was like, there are people beating on the doors of the building. I'm like, I got to turn on something and see that.
At one point,
And then it just
the
went downhill
C-SPAN
from that.
Could have been interesting. Could you actually see the people breaking into the chambers?
I don't know. I mean, C-SPAN did have the shots of, the Q shaman walking around on the floor of the Senate those are the C-SPAN cameras.
Does C-SPAN actually have camera people, or they have like a little joystick and they move it around?
I think most of the cameras are automatically controlled. I don't know if they have camera people. It's worse in the House. The House there are only certain shots that C-SPAN is ever allowed to use. And like C-SPAN is not allowed to turn the camera around when someone is speaking and show that they are speaking to an empty chamber, because that happened a couple times and it was embarrassing, and they were like, hey, let's pass a resolution and say C-SPAN's not allowed to show there's a big empty chamber when we're speaking.
The one time I went to Congress
Yeah.
on vacation,
Yeah.
that was exactly what I saw. There's one guy in the entire room speaking as if it was a crowded room.
Railing away.
Just going on about something or other.
Was it early in the morning? Was it like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning?
No, it's like, 2 or 3.
Yeah, okay.
And
They used to have everyone would get like 2 minutes to speak in
they
the
had
morning.
like 5 pages just running around the front
Yeah, just
for no reason. And this guy speaking to a room as if it was full.
yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take any pictures. Like there's no phones
Not
allowed or
allowed.
anything.
Not allowed to have your own cameras
Yeah, I
in
know.
because you could take a picture and show that the room was empty.
They don't want that.
They don't want
happening. Okay, then the fourth charge is conspiracy to violate civil rights. That's when we tried to stop the count of votes.
The civil rights thing is we have a right to elect a president and to have our votes counted the same as any other person's vote is counted. And so if someone fakes a bunch of votes, like saying, let's say the electors in Wisconsin voted for me instead of the guy they actually voted for, you have deprived all the people of Wisconsin who thought they
Well,
chose.
Wisconsin.
It's not a bad state.
Is it a good state?
I kind of like it. It's nice. It's got fireflies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are they seasonal?
There are no fireflies in the winter.
Okay. But all spring and summer and fall?
Well, summer at least.
All right. So isn't it true that you cannot run for president if you're guilty of insurrection?
I don't know. I mean, the Constitution says the qualifications to be president. Natural born citizen, 35 years of age,
But I thought,
haven't previously served 2 terms as
well, that's
president.
not in the original Constitution.
No, but it's in the Constitution.
Now, I heard after the Civil War happened, they did some changes.
The 14th Amendment added the thing that said anyone who has been, convicted of insurrection shall not be able to serve in any office of the government.
Okay.
It is a little unclear constitutionally whether that only applied to people that had been convicted of insurrection in the Civil War, because that was the intention when they passed it. They wanted to make sure that anyone who had served in the government of the Confederacy couldn't just return and
Like
be
nothing happened.
a member. Yeah, like nothing happened.
Okay.
You would probably have to have a conviction for insurrection
And so none of
for
these.
that to take place. And none of those are insurrection.
Okay. That's too bad.
Yeah. Now, they impeached him twice. If the impeachment had been upheld in the Senate,
Right.
the Senate could have denied Donald Trump the right to ever hold office again.
Right.
But they didn't, so that doesn't matter.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting times.
Indeed. All right. Well, on to our first topic. Hunter Biden.
I mean, that seemed like a topic.
The first one?
Yeah,
It was old business.
but it's still a topic, isn't it?
Well, if you said there has been no more indictments, that would have been the end of that.
So if there were more indictments, it was a topic.
I guess it was a topic.
Yeah.
So should I say our second topic?
You should, yeah.
Our second topic.
Our next topic.
Oh, okay.
The
We
piano
only
guy's
get
not
one.
paying attention.
No, we only have money
Yeah,
to pay
okay,
it
sure.
so many times,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We got to talk to the producer of this show and get some cash. Because I'm going to tell you, my checks have not been coming in the way they used to.
How did they used to come in? Is what I
Well,
wanna
they
know.
used to come in the mail, and I used to take them down to the bank, and then the bank would go, "That's not a real check." And now I don't even get to do that.
Okay. So everything's sounds normal.
Yeah,
to
I'm
me.
still not getting paid. I'm just not getting paid in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hunter Biden is the son of the current president, Joe Biden.
He is.
And he's had some legal problems.
Yes.
understand.
Yes, he has.
So at the end of July, he went to court to plead guilty for some things,
Yes.
and he had like a sweetheart deal.
He had a deal. He had
And then-
they were going to let him plead guilty to something.
And then the judge said, I can't let this stand.
I got some questions.
Yes. So what were the crimes that he was
I
being
think
accused
there
of?
were, I think there were 2 crimes. I don't recall if it was 2 counts or it was more than 2 counts. One of them was he didn't file his taxes for a couple years.
Oh, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's how they got Al Capone.
That is how they got Al Capone.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't really get Al Capone for not filing his taxes. Kind of like they really aren't going after Hunter Biden for his taxes.
Oh, they aren't. But the sweetheart deal he got was
Not a sweetheart deal.
no
Deal.
no. The deal he got was no jail
Second crime he's accused of is he bought a gun at a point in time that he has said he was addicted to illegal drugs.
crack cocaine.
I don't know if it was crack cocaine or heroin or what, but
Okay.
illegal drugs.
Uh-huh.
Serious illegal drugs, not like a little weed on the side. He might have been doing a little weed on the side too.
Schedule A, is that what they call it?
Serious drugs. He had a significant drug problem.
All right.
He's in recovery. Apparently, he says he's sober.
is he all
and
better
doing
now?
okay. Well, let's say all better's
Relative term.
day to day. People. Not everyone is perfect, like you and I.
Yeah, we've got our shit together.
So those were, I think, the two crimes. One was purchasing a gun when he shouldn't have been allowed to purchase a gun, and lying on the forms, because you have to fill out a form when you buy a gun. And one of the questions is, are you currently addicted or taking illegal drugs? And he said no. And that was a crime. That was lying on a form given to the government. That's a crime.
Couldn't you have just gone to a gun show and there's a loophole to buy all the guns you want?
Funny thing, between the time that Hunter Biden was charged with this crime and when he appeared in court to plead guilty to it, the Supreme Court had a big decision where they said, turns out any gun regulations, which kind of weren't in effect when we wrote the Constitution, are illegal.
Oh, really?
And we didn't used to ask people when we wrote the Constitution whether they were drug addicts. And so, in any real sense, another person who was accused of what Hunter Biden is, that person's lawyer is going to show up in court and go, I don't think, based on what the Supreme Court said in this recent case, that this is even a crime you can charge us with anymore.
Has the Supreme Court gone bonkers?
Yes. That's a whole different show.
Okay.
But yes.
All right. So now there's no background checks or anything?
A lot less.
Can I buy a tank?
No. Tanks are not guns.
They have
Tanks are armaments.
Tanks are a big car
Guns with wheels.
with a gun attached to it.
Yes. You also can't buy a machine gun.
Can't buy a machine gun.
Yeah.
Is that true in the Constitution when they first wrote it?
Well, they didn't have machine guns. So
See?
you couldn't buy a machine gun. They also
So-
didn't have tanks.
Yeah.
They did have submarines.
Did the Supreme Court ruling say I can buy all these things now?
No.
No. Okay. So they're not totally bonkers.
They are totally bonkers.
They are totally bonkers. Okay.
But
Was that like a 5-4 decision?
6-3.
6-3.
Yeah. It's 6-3 now.
That's
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
swung-
That's why they're bunkers.
that swung a little far for
Yeah,
my liking.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So why?
So anyway, he showed up in court to plead guilty, and the judge asked some questions about the plea agreement that Hunter Biden's attorneys had negotiated with the Department of Justice. And I am not a lawyer, but I have listened to some lawyers and I've read some stuff, and they've said the judge has some moderately reasonable points, which is he looked at this agreement and said, it seems to me what you're saying is, to the government, that if he pleads guilty to these things, you, of course, can't convict him of those things again, double
Right.
jeopardy, but you might charge him with something else. And then Hunter Biden's attorney said, no, we don't think that's what the agreement says. We think the agreement says we're pleading guilty and he's not going to be charged with other stuff. And the government said, well, we can't promise we're not going to charge you with things.
So it's future crimes he might commit they're worried about?
Past crimes
Or past
that are
crimes
not,
included in the agreement?
not filing tax returns, not buying a gun while being a drug addict. There's a claim by some people that Hunter Biden was acting as an agent for a foreign government because he was working for a company in Ukraine, and he had a company he worked for had contracts in China. You could look at some of that and say, well, you're really lobbying or working on behalf of the government of Ukraine or the government of China or some other government when you should have registered as an agent of those governments
Okay.
when you talk to anyone in America. Now, lots of people are similarly guilty of the same level of maybe you're an agent of the government, maybe you're not. People have been convicted of it. Former politicians have been convicted of it, but lots of politicians have not been convicted of it. So you don't know. I mean, Hunter Biden has the misfortune of being a useful shovel to whack Joe Biden with, because you can point to Hunter Biden and say, this is why Joe Biden shouldn't be president. There's not a lot of evidence that Joe Biden has done anything wrong, but you just keep investigating Hunter Biden and hoping you can turn up something that looks bad or suspicious, or turn up something that truly is bad. If Hunter Biden's last name wasn't Biden and he'd done a bunch of drugs in the 2016 to 2019 timeframe, and he had a bunch of lucrative contracts with some companies not based in the US, and he didn't file his taxes, he probably would not be sitting in court right now. The IRS would have said, you got to pay your taxes. And he would have went,
He did pay his taxes.
I'm going to pay
right?
my taxes.
He did.
I'm going to pay the fine for not paying my taxes.
And he did all
And
that,
they'd have been
right?
done with that.
Okay.
And almost no one has been convicted of the gun charge while being a self-confessed drug addict. You know, you try to find people that were convicted of just that. There are some people that have been convicted of that and 17 other crimes because they were just criming it. And, you know, prosecutors showed up and went, well, here's all the shit we're going to convict you of. We got a lot more stuff we could also convict you of, but this much shit is going to put you away for 30 years, and that's where it's going to be.
So is it true that Hunter Biden collected fees from people outside the United States, and then in return, he got them a meeting with then Vice President Biden?
Well, Biden would have been vice president then. Biden stopped being vice president in 2016.
But I thought, were he doing this stuff earlier?
2016 to 2019. I mean, there's almost no evidence that Joe Biden had in any way gave anything useful to Hunter Biden.
Right.
Hunter Biden can say his father is Joe Biden. And in the same way, Eric Trump has a job. Eric Trump's probably not worth what Eric Trump's job is paying, but his father is Donald Trump.
Right.
You know, many people have better jobs than they are probably would be able to get on their own because of their families or their connections. And
My
Hunter
father
Biden was
got connections.
not different from many other somewhat well-known connected people.
Right. What's the deal with Hunter Biden's laptop? Why do the people are so excited about it?
At some point, and there may not actually be a laptop. Like, no one has this laptop.
Really?
People say they have a copy of the hard drive from this laptop, and people have, well, here's a laptop. But there's no good chain of custody that lets you know whether something is Hunter Biden's laptop or not.
Okay.
There's, you know, an image of a hard drive floating around that clearly has stuff that was on a Hunter Biden hard drive.
Is it on BitTorrent? Can I download it?
I don't know if it's in BitTorrent because I stopped going to torrent sites because I enjoy staying out of jail.
Not everything on BitTorrent's illegal.
No, but an awful lot of it is. And
Okay.
there are some things that clearly came from a Hunter Biden computer. Marjorie Taylor Greene has a bunch of naked pictures of him.
Did
which
she show
She did.
pics
Yes.
of Hunter
yes.
Biden in Congress?
Yeah, she had a hearing and she
To-
had a
to what?
big poster of like, look, This is the kind of shit that's on Hunter Biden's laptop. And I'm like,
And to what end was she doing this?
just trying to embarrass Hunter Biden as
Because-
the president. And
I mean, surely you have your own dick pics on your laptop.
I try not to take them.
No?
Yeah. You? Let's bring it up. Bring up photos, man.
Oh, this is my iPad. I don't got anything on it.
You don't have iCloud?
No, I don't use iCloud. I don't trust iCloud.
Ah, well, good idea.
Yeah. Because, if it's on iCloud, Apple would, fold to a search warrant. Like,
Oh, they totally would. Yeah,
like a
yeah.
paper
There's
bag.
just,
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing about search warrants. You have to comply. It's the law.
I'm reading a book called After Steve.
Yeah.
And there's like a chapter and a half on the time Apple didn't want to cooperate
Well, sometimes you don't want to.
in unlocking a iPhone.
Yeah. Because we didn't.
Yeah.
I said we. Apple did not believe it was required to do what the government asked,
Uh-huh.
which is
Making
if
backdoors.
you give someone a search warrant, we would like this information. The people you give the warrant to have to give that information. But if you give someone a warrant that says, I would like you to do a bunch of work to make it possible for you to get this information, which you don't currently have, but which we believe could expend effort to get, you don't have, government can't force you to do work you don't want to do. They can
right.
force you to provide information you already have.
Okay. All right. So it was just to embarrass.
Largely, yeah. I mean, we ought to convict her of revenge porn
Yes.
because we have revenge porn laws. If you show someone's believed to be private pictures
Are the
with the
revenge-
intention of embarrassing or blackmailing or something, that's a crime.
Now would
But she's in Congress, and you
Would
can't convict
DC
people of things they say on the floor of Congress.
oh, I wonder if DC has revenge porn law.
I think DC does have a revenge porn law.
Okay. Couldn't Joe Biden next to the Union show a picture of Marjorie Taylor Greene's vagina?
Let's hope he doesn't.
Oh, yes.
But he does not have protections against revenge porn because he is not a member of Congress.
So the laws of DC. Wait. I heard Donald Trump say, anything I did as president is legal because I'm president. Is that could
He wasn't
be
the
wrong?
first. He wasn't the first president to say that.
You're right. That's an old Nixon quote, actually. Isn't it?
And it may be true as long as you're president, but it is not true when you cease to be president.
So
And as an example,
well, the January 6th stuff that happened, Donald Trump was president.
yes, but now he's not president, or prosecuting him for it.
So if you do bad things while you're president, you can't be charged. But as soon as you're not
It's
president,
not that you
can
can't be charged. It's that the people that charge you are the Department of Justice, who work for you.
But I thought that the president can't tell the Department of Justice what to do.
That's a recommendation. That's not an actual law.
Okay.
There was an actual law called the Special Prosecutor, which is what they charged, which is how Clinton got charged by White?
Was it the Whitewater or the Monica?
It was Whitewater.
Lewinsky?
Who was the? There was a special prosecutor
Okay.
who Congress passed some laws.
Starr?
Yes, Kenneth Starr. Special prosecutor laws back in the 90s put the special prosecutor outside of the executive branch's approval. And then after that, and after some stuff while Bush was president, they were like, we're not renewing that law no more. So now the president can tell anyone in the Justice Department anything, what they get to do.
Isn't Jack White? Is that his name?
Jack White.
Jack Smith? The current Jack guy
Smith, yes.
who is
He is, but
Is
he
he a special
still
prosecutor?
works for the Department of Justice.
okay. But Ken Starr didn't?